Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Have You Ever Played podcast, the only podcast that is fully AI generated by questions now. I'm Matt, aka Matt Von Dude, and who are you?
I'm James, aka James04E.
And James, I'm going to ask you a question fresh off the presses. We're going to
Okay.
start episodes with a beautiful AI question from now on. I think
Oh
I
boy.
think that's a good format change. What do you feel about? How do you feel about that, James?
Agree.
A hard agree.
Yes.
Okay. Um, I am going to. So if you have questions, you can send them to us at hyeppodcast@gmail.com. That's hyeppodcast@gmail.com. We'll be reading more questions at the end of the podcast. I think I wanted to start having them up front because we need more questions from you, from listeners like you, like PBS.
Yes.
But James, let me hit you with a question. This is a very easy question to answer. If you could patch or update any historical event like a game, which event would it be, and what bug fixes would you apply?
What?
Banger question.
Um. Sheesh.
Historical patch notes. What are you gonna do?
Historical patch notes.
What event you changing?
Um. Event.
Just at a loss.
Depends on like what you define as an event. Like, do we count
A
like wars as
historical
a?
event.
Do we count like wars as events?
Yes, that's a historical event.
I mean I guess, but I don't know. I think of events as like moments. I guess.
You could go back to World War One and like patch in handheld machine guns like Battlefield One
I
did.
mean I don't know. I was gonna go back to World War One and patch out the part where they lay down in their own piss.
Yeah, I mean that seems like a crucial part of World War One, though.
Yeah.
Um, what about patching the infinite money duplication glitch in 2008, or I guess
Uh,
2007, leading up to 2008?
maybe. I don't know. I
Maybe
feel like it'd
patch
still
that
be
out.
I feel like it'd be like something would screw us over eventually.
You'd think from the 20s update, right? The 1920s update, they would learn,
Yeah.
but they just double down again.
Yep.
Um, that's a stupid question. I liked the idea of applying patches though to real world events. I don't think there's like I think you kind of get in trouble if you answer that question though. Like because if you look back to any historical event and be like, "Well, I would change this." It just doesn't
Yeah. I feel
it's
like there's
not
a
good
lot.
taste.
I don't know. Like, could I like patch Hitler out?
Yeah, I get that's what your mind kind of goes to, right? But
Yeah. I don't know how extreme this stuff gets, or like how like sweeping the changes are. Like I could just say like, yeah, patch out slavery, but it's like that's a lot of things
yeah, there's a
and a
lot
lot
of
of like
moving
people.
parts there. One second. This podcast is getting too hot, too quick. These AI generated questions. We got to move on.
Damn.
All right. Let's move on to something not controversial at all, like Apex. So what's going on with Apex,
Yes.
James?
Yeah, so they were playing the regional finals for North America. Um what is it now? Like sheesh, it's almost a week ago now. They were playing it on Sunday. And so the first two games there was a lot of like lag at the start and it looked like an attempted like DDoS attack or something like that. Um and then in the third game, like midway through the game, player had a cheat UI pop up on their screen and had somebody say like they advertised their name and stuff in the chat, like just spamming it without the player actually like inputting anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got like aimbot and wall hacks, and they were like firing their gun at a target, and they thought they killed the target, but they actually killed somebody across the map because the bullets just curved.
And this is all happening. So I don't play Apex. I installed it. I don't really
Mhm.
play Apex, and I heard about this from like Overwatch people. It's
Yeah,
been widespread in like every community right now. It's kind of like the
yeah,
laughing stock of gaming
yeah.
at the
It's because
moment.
it's kind of an unheard of thing in esports. It's a major like it's potentially a very major security issue.
Hmm. Well,
Um,
people are already jumping to the opinion that it's like, oh, it could be some sort of like arbitrary code execution
yeah,
exploit
like
where you can.
remote code execution. Yeah.
Mhm. Uh,
Um, yeah. So they haven't pinpointed exactly what it was. Their statement has effectively been like, we're aware of it and we're working on it. And because, well, I guess we kind of didn't finish the initial thing yet, but so basically what happened is, that guy had cheats on his, or he was aimbotting and like wall hacking, so he just left the game, and his teammates had to play as like a duo. And then in the third game or the fourth game, another guy who happened to be the most popular streamer got hacked as well. The cheater didn't say anything. He just started like trying to shoot at somebody, and his bullets were just going everywhere and like nearly killed somebody. And then, and then he kept saying like, "Yeah, I have aimbot. I can't really shoot." And then a squad tried to push his team, so he just railed them, like
Oh yeah.
absolutely unloaded on them. And they ended the game.
So that was insane that happened. Yeah, witnessing all of this stuff, and this was happening live for
Yeah.
people just watching, and it's just what a
So,
egg on the face for the Apex like team just to like
so I
have
guess
your
for
tournament.
additional context in the whole happening live thing, Apex players are allowed to stream their POVs, mostly because most of the top players are also top streamers. Um, and the mainstream basically switches POV between like all 60 players between 20 teams, and each team has one player that's spectated by like a official Apex Legends Global Series spectator, and people are allowed to also watch their POVs through there if like a player isn't streaming or something like that. Um, from what I know, the actual cheating that was happening, or the like hacks and stuff like that, were not caught on the mainstream, and I don't know if they were caught on the like individual player POVs or not. They were caught on the player streams.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so it was really interesting because on the mainstream they kind of had to stall for time because obviously after the third game they found out like, hey, somebody's getting like their account hacked into and they're like being forced to use cheats. Clearly, we're not going to start the fourth game like immediately, right? And so like
Yeah.
the main broadcast had to like stall for time without actually saying what was going on. And initially, Respawn basically said like, yeah, we had to stop the regional finals because of a competitive integrity issue.
Yeah, well, there's
Which
definitely an integrity issue
Yeah,
when
which to be fair, they probably can't just say that players got hacked
mhm.
like right off the bat. So I don't blame them for it. It's just really goofy to watch that live and then hear, yeah, it was a competitive integrity issue, guys.
So I'm gonna link you a video I've been watching that I'm like not I'm halfway through the video, so I would say if you
Oh, it's the
wanna
pirate software one. Yeah.
yeah, the pirate software video on Apex Legends vulnerabilities breakdown and interview, which goes into a lot more of like speculation of what we're potentially looking at, and kind of putting some of those claims of people immediately being like, "Oh, it's a crazy exploit. They'll be able to get into your bank account like if you have Apex installed," and kind of calming them down a little bit, but also being genuinely impressed at like, okay, so are these client side issue like are they downloading compromised software and then they're like the person who is responsible for the hacks on stream is remotely activating the software and then causing this, or is it like a bigger problem? Did you see the other clip of the same streamer? I believe it is it it's Hal something, right? I don't follow
Imperial
Apex
Hell.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's apparently one of the most popular or like
Yeah,
crazy
he's just the
streamers
most
for the game.
popular one, straight up.
Yeah. So he was playing the game in a competitive lobby, and then just like 100 bots just spawned in, and were
Oh
all
yeah, yeah,
chasing
yeah.
him down.
Yeah,
Same
that happened to
person.
multiple pro players. It was a little while ago, so it's not like very recent, but
Hmm.
it was like a month or so ago.
Yeah, so that's kind of insane on a different way because that kind of
Yeah.
proves in a way that there could be some weird server side shenanigans. Again, go watch the Apex Legends vulnerability breakdown and interview video from Pirate Software. It's way makes way more sense than anything that I could speculate.
Yeah, I would
Um,
personally, if you have time, I would recommend watching the entire stream because there is
mhm,
like crucial context being given. Um, and yeah, I watched. I think they did 2 or 3 streams. I can't remember, but I watched all of them. Um, one of them they had Hal on it, and it was like a bit of a better explanation because he ran malware bytes on his PC
mhm,
right after, and apparently they found the IP of the machine being used to hack into his
hmm.
account. Um, they're not sure if it's like it's most likely a jump box, not necessarily the hacker's IP itself, but they did find that was pretty helpful for getting to a better conclusion, but there still is no official conclusion, at least not from Respawn. And I think any conclusion that's not from them would kind of be taken with a grain of salt.
Hmm.
But yeah, the only thing they've really said is kind of like reassuring people, like, yeah, it's a priority to fix this. We rolled out. They said they rolled out one update so far. They didn't really talk about the content of it. They said that they're actively working on it. And I think generally through the community, the advice that people are giving is like, kind of avoid playing the game until they say something more concrete.
Hmm.
Of course, they can't just tell you like, "Hey guys, the game isn't safe. Don't play it," because that would probably piss off like shareholders and stuff like that. But yeah, I would generally say if you play Apex, I would not recommend playing for a bit because worst case scenario, oh no, you didn't get to play a video game for a few days, or best
Hmm.
case, yeah, worst case scenario if you don't play, you didn't get to play a video game for a few days. Worst case scenario if you do play is that your PC could get bricked, people could steal your personal information, all that stuff. So, yeah, probably not worth the risk
Yeah, and it's
unless you get paid to
Apex.
do it.
Um, But so what do you think Respawn? So in this scenario, right? I know there's a history of people who hack into games and stuff like that, and I think there's like an anecdote where it's like, well, little Timmy hacked into the game, and then they offered him a job as like the security guy or something like that, because there's been a history of that happening. But also there's been the opposite where someone is like there's been stories where, and I have no source on this, but it's probably from one of my many iceberg explained videos I watched, so take this with a grain of salt. But there's been the case of someone trying to kind of do that where it's like, I hacked into your bank account, give me a job, and they said, oh cool, okay, we'll give you a job, give us your personal information and resume. And then they got the resume, and then they're like, oh, straight to jail. We have your
Yeah,
information, straight to jail. So what do you think in this situation? Is that something that could potentially? I mean, it's all speculation, but do you think that they would potentially be like, "Hey, like you found vulnerabilities. Maybe we'll pay you some money or something." But it's also such like a bad publicity for the game that
yeah.
I
I
don't know if they
personally
would
think
ever
I
do
think
that.
it's a jail angle. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, right to jail, just straight to jail. Do
Yeah.
not get any money, right to jail. But the person who is doing this is probably very young. I would
Um.
imagine.
Potentially. So the thing with the Destroyer 2009 thing is, people had initially thought it was like the year that they were born, but then I think
Mhm.
somebody realized there was a movie in 2009. I think it was Pirate Software talked about it. I don't remember like the details, so I don't want to like just say it and get it wrong. But apparently, it was like vaguely related to what they were doing with Apex, and it was supposed to be like a joke.
Well, I just imagine that they're probably like age like 16 to like mid 20s. You know what I mean? That seems like that would make sense. And so they're probably young, and by young I mean like they could be like 20s or whatever. I don't think they're, I think they're probably, because it's Apex. It's a game that's appealing to like younger people, and it seems like it's
Well,
just kind
you
of a
would
clout
actually
thing.
think that the Apex player base actually isn't that young.
Well, I know, but people hacking the game and putting their name out for, just to kind of flex, like that seems like a young man's game a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mayhaps.
But who knows? It could be a team of people. It could be whatever. But um, yeah, it was just kind of funny. I weirdly, so it's bad publicity for Apex, but it does have people talking about Apex. So any publicity can be good publicity, I guess. Although people are afraid to play your game.
Yeah, I mean, technically, this is the most Apex has ever been talked about because Apex doesn't really get like much mainstream news coverage.
Especially the fact that there's like a big tournament going on. And the
Yeah,
only reason people care is because there's the hacking
yeah,
scandal.
and I guess additionally with the tournament thing, it's been indefinitely delayed for now. The issue is the way that Apex tournaments work, at least the respawn or the EA ones, is that it's a like 6 week league, I believe. No, no, not 6 weeks. It's more than 6 weeks. It's like 9 weeks, and three groups. And you basically just like they match up the groups and they play against each other. And then the top 20 teams play in a regional finals. And then depending on the region, uh, like a certain number of teams will go to LAN. In the case of NA, it's top 12. And the only way, if you're in the regional finals and not in the top 12, to get to LAN is either to get enough points that you surpass somebody in the top 12, or if you win like the lobby, you automatically call to LAN. So regional finals for some people is pretty important, and you obviously you can't have LAN before the regional finals, and you also can't have what they call international scrims before the regional finals, which is basically when all the teams from the different like regions that have qualified, they all scrim together.
Hmm.
So having the regional finals delayed is a pretty big deal, generally speaking. It delays practice for a lot of people. And additionally, there's actually a patch coming out on Tuesday, like the mid season patch. So now there's a question of, okay, can the regional finals be done before the patch? Like, because otherwise we'll be playing on a new patch for regional finals, which is really odd. And so it's kind of weird because basically the security team is almost on a timer now, so it's a lot of pressure for them.
Hmm.
And they had plans revolving around this specific time because this is, like, as I said before, it's mid-season, and also we're kind of heading towards LAN, which is the LAN is on May 2nd, so it's not very long, right? Like, in theory, if this were like a major issue, they could still be working on fixing it all the way to then.
Well, hopefully, I mean, I would have to imagine they're putting their resources to this because of how like ridiculous it was,
Yeah,
and they don't want to be kind of caught again on stream, and that would be like disastrous if any more news comes out. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, that was Apex. Did you play any Apex at all? Briefly, like, have you played any Apex before?
Not since Sunday, no.
Yeah, fair enough. What have
Yeah,
you been
I
up to?
so yeah, I've personally uninstalled for now, just until they figure
Hmm.
stuff out. It's because it's the safest thing I can do, pretty much.
Hmm.
But in the
Yeah.
meantime, I have been playing some other games.
Hmm.
Rare occurrence. So I did play a little bit of Helldivers. I'm not necessarily like burnt out on it, but my friends kind of aren't playing it as much anymore.
Oh no, the flavor of the month game is dying for your friend group, at least.
Sort of. It's so it's weird because my friend group is the friend group that I play games with. They some of them have like disabilities that make it hard for them to play certain games. Like they have like eye problems and stuff.
Hmm.
And Helldivers is a very flashy game, I guess. So they can't play it for very long. And when there's alternatives, they usually just go to those. Like they're getting back into GTFO. I don't know if I've
Okay.
talked about GTFO before on podcast, but
I don't know if we have.
it's basically like a 4-player survival game. The idea is you're like getting dropped into an area that's like infested with these zombie alien things, and you have to put in codes into terminals and like
Hmm.
there's varying objectives. The general idea is you're getting something and leaving.
Hmm. So it's an
Um,
extraction shooter.
yeah, kind of an extraction shooter. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's got all the standard like survival stuff, like very limited ammo, friendly fire. You need to do stealth. You get like turrets and things like that, and there's like alarms and shit.
Hmm.
And so it's not like super similar to Helldivers, but it's adjacent in the sense it's like 4 players. Um, you're in a pretty fucked up scenario. You're probably gonna die a lot. Friendly fire. It's very communication heavy as well. So it's actually like it's a kind of stressful game to play. It's the kind of game where you complete one mission and you're like off for the night
Yeah, I'm good. Okay.
because it takes like a lot out of you. Like it is a friendship ender for sure.
Ooh, 1 second. My I can't hear you, James, if you're saying things. Okay, you should be good now. It was a headphone issue on my end.
Okay.
All right, we're good. We're
But
back.
yeah, game's a friendship ender. I play it sometimes. I don't play it like a lot. My friends are a little bit more into it than I am, I guess. But yeah, so they've been playing that as an alternative to Helldivers for a bit. And then another game that we tried was Borderlands 3 because it was on like Giga sale. Like I literally got every single piece of Borderlands content ever for like $20.
Yeah, I saw you
Besides,
were booting that up.
yeah, besides Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which I already had, but it's just not included in the bundle.
So, are you playing Pro ZD?
No, one of my friends is. I'm playing Amara because I played
Okay.
Borderlands 3 on PS4 previously, and I got like all my stuff maxed out, and I like basically got god rolls on all my items, and I basically just finished the game.
Hmm.
And so yeah, now there's no cross progression, so I don't have my old character, so I just kind of started a new one. Um, and yeah, it's been fun. The story still kind of sucks, but the literal like gameplay, like the mechanics and stuff like that is good. The performance and the bugs are still pretty terrible. Like one of my friends was having a lot of trouble with it because he has like a 3090 and he was getting 60 FPS on like medium settings. Like it was
Well,
crazy.
see, is it so? Were they using like DLSS? Because it feels like oh, that game
Um,
even have DLSS
no, it
support
does
like
not. It does not
natively?
have DLSS, which is really
Oh, that
unfortunate.
sucks.
It actually feels like a game that needs DLSS desperately.
That game came out at a weird time. Like that feels like it should have that. Like, but that was like that was probably around what year did that come
It was
out? Like
late 2019, like
2019.
September or October.
It's like the borderline of kind of
Yeah,
having
it's
support.
a really weird game to go back and play too because it's weird. It feels weirdly dated. Like I think one thing I noticed. Well, first of all, the game was built. I don't think they play tested for mouse and keyboard very much. It very much feels like a controller game in the way that you interact with the UI and such. Especially the map. The map feels terrible on mouse and key because just the way you move it around is very much meant for controller. It has some like buggy interactions where if you're hovering over a fast travel point, you can't fast travel and you have to like go off it and on it again. I think it's specifically a mouse and key thing as well. The way that you place just the way that you go to waypoints and stuff is very bizarre. Like in Cyberpunk, for example, it'll give you the fastest route to the waypoint, like it'll mark it for you. This game doesn't do that at all, and there's lots of dead ends and things like that. So you have to constantly be looking at your map while you're running around. And there's also no compass. So yeah, the navigating the open world is a little odd at times, to say the least.
It's
But it's
wild to me that those games are split between like it's first person looter shooter and then also the worst vehicle segments we could put into a game. And it's just
mhm.
consistently always a bad vehicle segment.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
don't
Also, the vehicle
understand.
controls are terrible for mouse.
What?
You can't use A and D to turn. You can only go
Hmm.
forwards and backwards, and it goes in the direction of your camera.
Hmm. Well, you control it with the mouse. That's like how it's in all the other games. It's just
Yeah,
so
but
bad.
in the other ones, you can use A and D to like turn to do like slight turns and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And there's also no like handbrake. Like it's literally the controls just W and S.
But it's like, do the people who play these games like when I played the Borderlands games, the vehicle segments kind of sucked. They were kind of funny,
Yeah,
but does
vehicle segments in
anyone like
Borderlands have
die
never been
hard them?
very good.
Why do they keep putting them in there? It feels like it's tradition, but it's terrible. That's kind of what
I
Borderlands
don't
is,
know.
though, as a series. It feels like we do it because it's tradition. It's a bad tradition that sucks, but we got to put it in every game. Like Claptrap's got to be in every game, being terrible.
Yep,
Did you see any of is the show out yet with Jack Black Claptrap? Was it a movie or
it's a
show?
movie.
It's a movie. Is that out yet?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, that is a wildly cast movie.
Yeah, that
Just
was
like
very odd.
is it like it's like Jamie Lee Curtis is a character, right?
Yeah, so the weird thing about the movie casting is, I was talking with a friend about it. These actors, they work in a Borderlands movie, just not as these characters.
It's so strange.
Like,
Such a
ironically, the
bizarre
best
choice.
casting out of the main like five might be Kevin Hart as Roland.
I mean, that's pretty funny. Yeah. Jack
It's
Black,
just
I mean, can
crazy.
play any role and do no harm.
Yeah,
So
I guess
he's
Jack Black
fine.
Claptrap is fine.
They should have had Chris Pratt do
Oh
Claptrap.
no, please no.
Continue his amazing role as Garfield and Mario.
Continued his run.
What are some other like major IP characters? I guess you could voice Mickey Mouse next, Chris
Oh
Pratt.
no.
Like we need
Chris
more
Pratt,
major
Mickey Mouse. I am
characters.
not. I will not be. I will not be seated in the theater for that one.
Listen, all right, listeners of the pod, quote me. I bet there will be a piece of media in which Chris Pratt voices Mickey Mouse. I don't know if it's a mainline thing, but there will be some sort of
I mean, if it's
media,
not
and he'll
mainline, I
just be
feel like it'd
like,
be too low budget for him.
I don't know, like it'll be like, oh boy, it's me, Mickey
Because
Mouse.
like he's not gonna voice Mickey Mouse in Mickey Mouse Blood and Honey. Like, let's be real.
Well, that's not a canon. That's not official. That's Steamboat Willie verse.
Steamboat Willie verse.
What if he voices Mickey Mouse in Epic Mickey Rebrushed trilogy or whatever it's called? He comes
Doubt.
in, does some lines.
Highly doubt.
Um, no, he's not. He's definitely not. I don't know. I could see him doing. I could see him being offered the role of Mickey Mouse. I don't know why. I don't know why Chris Pratt of all people is getting all these voice roles. It's really strange. Because
Yeah.
I can understand why he would get the actor roles after Star Lord and stuff like that. Like as an actor, yeah, you can see him on
Mhm.
screen. He sells tickets or whatever. But like I don't get the voice acting thing because he doesn't do he doesn't have a voice actor's like range. He's
Well,
just he's
yeah,
a guy.
I think that's like a thing that people are doing now, where they're getting actors and trying to have them as voice actors. I
Well, they've
know.
done that
So
forever.
yeah, so the Boy and the Heron did it, and it went very well because the actors they got are actually good voice actors.
Hmm. And
But
you can have like Mark
yeah,
Hamill
I
is
don't
an
know.
actor originally and is a fantastic voice actor. Like you can have that. It's
Well,
just like
I think with Mark Hamill though, I think that was like he like auditioned for those things. I'm assuming. I don't think they like actively sought him out necessarily.
well, I think after Mark Hamill was proven that he could do voice acting, now
Oh
he's
yeah, yeah.
obviously
After
sought
that,
out
but
as a voice
I'm saying
actor.
like they're getting people to do like their first time voice acting just because they're like a big name. Like
Well,
they're like hitting
they've
up like,
done that.
hey Chris Pratt, Mario now.
Well, they've done that forever with like big animated movies like Illumination. They'll put a famous actor, which is always makes no sense. Where it's like, oh my god, like it's Robert De Niro is a dog. It's like whoa. Honestly, I don't even think Chris Pratt did a bad job as Mario. I don't even think he's necessarily a bad pick for Mario. It's the fact that now we have him as Mario and then also as Garfield, but it's the same voice and also just like two of the most iconic voices. Mario, I think they could change it up because they can mix up Mario. It's kind of a dumb voice. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You can't have a whole movie of someone with the Mario video game voice. That's why every piece of Mario media has like Brooklyn Mario in it. You know what I mean? Um, but to do Garfield, such an iconic voice, and then just do nothing at all with it. Oh,
Mm.
all right. Anyway, I don't know what were we even talking about. Like
Oh, we were
I
talking about
completely got
Borderlands.
disrailed. Oh yeah, Borderlands 3 because of the Pro ZD and other voice
Yeah.
actors. Um, so you're playing that with your friend group. Have any of them ever played Borderlands 3 yet?
Most of them have. Yeah.
So you're a group going back. So
Hmm.
my question is why? What brought you back?
Apex being unsafe to play.
It's just the only reason. You don't have any other games that you would rather play.
Well, but the thing is, we've like played most of the other games we would rather play, so it's like we wanted a new one.
A new
'Cause
old
it's like,
one. You've already played this one though, and you don't
yeah,
like it
but
that
like,
much.
no, we like it.
Well, the gameplay seems fine. It's just everything else is kind of
I
not
mean, yeah,
great.
but to be fair, it's mostly gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's not
I get
also
that.
like Borderlands over the top humor. It's like I think that we are at the point in our lives where it is fun to laugh at, not necessarily with, but like it's fun. I don't know.
I don't know.
So
Like
like we don't really complain about it.
two is like groans. Three is kind of. It's just like oh my god, I can't even. It takes you so. At least when I tried it the first time, I was like I can't even enjoy anything that is happening right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I think about it this way, like so, like with the younguns and their memes now, like skibbity toilet and all that shit.
Hmm.
Like we can laugh at it because it's stupid, and we know it's stupid, and like it's kind of honestly, it's brain rotting,
Oh,
and
well,
it's kind of
we
similar.
watched dumb
It,
stuff too.
yeah, we did, but it's kind of similar with like Borderlands and the brand of humor they go for because we know it's like straight up brain rot, and it's if you legitimately break it down, it's actually not. not really funny for any reason. But it's like looking back on your really stupid sense of humor.
Well, just saying, like we're like, ah, ha, ha, skibbity toilet, but our generation was lol so random humor, like lol what long cat, lol so random. It's the same thing, and Borderlands
Well,
is like, oh, unicorn cake, like
so
it's
yes,
bacon unicorn cake.
but like I think the thing is when we were looking at like cat memes, it wasn't like brain rotting.
It is brain rotting. It's
It
like what
was
you
not
grew
as
up
brain
with.
rotting. Like I could have shown my parents that stuff, and they would at least have like some semblance of cat do funny thing. But now it's like
Well,
what?
like I don't know, some of it was pretty dumb. Like
Sure,
rage,
but
like
like
how do you? I don't know.
but like it also wasn't stuff that was like taking over the internet. Like I feel like we all had our little like niche memes,
Well,
but it wasn't
skibbity
like they weren't
toilet.
like the meme usually.
What's funny is like Skibidi Toilet is Gmod too. Like in Half Life, so it's like a weird blast. It's like Half Life 2, like weird blast from us too. But they don't really know that it's like that for the most part. Um, I don't know. Every generation's humor looks weird when you're an outsider. I think we're just old now. I can appreciate the stupid stuff.
Hmm.
Um, But yeah, Borderlands. Speaking of meme stupid games, I've been playing a new Rage platformer game called A Difficult Game About Climbing.
Oh
Now,
boy.
okay, so it sounds awful, but it's $10, and I thought it was gonna be a game that was like a only up kind of game where it's just like a scam asset flip game.
Hmm.
No, it is a game made by a YouTube person who makes like these kind of game projects. I haven't fully explored their channel. It's Ponty Pants. Um, I haven't fully explored their video, but they have a video about how they made this game and stuff. And it really takes a lot of inspiration from Getting Over It, which is great. Um,
Hmm.
and it's so fun. It is genuinely very, very fun to play. And the challenge of it's challenging, but it feels fair for the most part. It is very
Hmm.
it has, if you look at a picture of it, it looks exactly like that Getting Over It game. There's like a semi nude man, and it's very much in the style of it. But the
Hmm.
game actually has a very strong artistic style within the levels and the layout and stuff. It has a very nice striking appearance, even though it does kind of look like one of those generic hard streamer games. It's
Hmm.
probably one of the best ones I've played in a long time, up there with like Jump King. Genuinely really good. It's $10. Definitely check it out.
Hmm.
I've been playing it like nonstop. It's so fun. But yeah, it's really good.
Cool.
You're not one for rage platformer type games, are you? Though I can't
I haven't
imagine.
really I just haven't like played them much.
Hmm.
Might try one
Like
eventually though.
if you're gonna try any of them, this might be a good one to try. It's pretty fun. Like I don't think it's that crazy. Whereas some of the other games, I think Only Up's probably the worst one of the batch because it is just it felt sheerly money, like for money. It was
Yeah.
very not inspired in any way.
Hmm.
Um, but this one is definitely very very fun. I've kept up with my cookie clicker as well. I am about to
Ooh.
ascend in cookie clicker, which is like prestiging in Call of Duty, and the world isn't ready for me to ascend. That's going to be happening later today. There's nothing else really to talk about with Cookie Clicker. Uh, it's a game. It's still fun to have on your background,
Hmm.
and I'll briefly talk about one more thing, and then we'll get back into either more of your week stuff, or probably like we might end up in questions territory. Um,
Mayhaps.
but I've been playing a game. Well, actually, I should talk about Overwatch 2 as well. So I'll briefly talk about. So Vindictus exists.
Hmm.
Did you ever play Vindictus when we were playing that at one point in time?
No, I just heard stories of it.
Okay, so that's a Nexon published. I'm assuming it's a Korean MMO where I don't know when it came out. It's like 2000s. Let me look it up. It came out in like 2010, I guess, in the US. It might be like older. It could be all over the place. So that game is a very interesting MMO because it runs on the Source engine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically like the apex of MMOs. Um,
Damn.
it runs on the Source engine and is notable for having some of the best combat in any MMO. It's
Mm-hmm.
action combat and it's instance based, so it's like you have four people in a party and then you go through levels. So it's not open world; it is instance based levels and there's bosses. And genuinely,
Mm-hmm.
to this date, still has some of the best combat in any MMO.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Vindictus suffered from adding a bunch of pay to win stuff because Nexon. And if you look, you should actually go and look up some Vindictus images. And unfortunately, the art style of the original game uh, has turned into one of those explicit ads you may see on a nefarious website, and
R&R.
it's pretty tough. The game had always been kind of like insane. There was like notable jiggle physics in the game, like that was a part of the culture of the game, and it was very
Mm-hmm.
over the top, sexualized in a way. But now it's just bad. Like it's like shockingly bad. The characters are like off model. It's insane. Um,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, this actually might interest you. They just did a playtest for a new game called Vindictus, I believe, Defying Fate. It is a single player Souls like game in the
Ooh.
universe of Vindictus. We should look that up on Steam right now. Just look at the visuals. It looks fantastic. It looks really, really good. And I played some of it, and it plays really good. I unfortunately didn't get to fully do the entire demo because I didn't realize that it was a timed playtest for a single player game. And the demo ran out of time, and I only played against the first kind of boss and only did a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's like an actiony. It's a more actiony Souls kind of game. So it has Souls like mechanics, like you have an Estus, you have bonfires. It's kind of open world ish. I mean the demo was pretty small, but like it's kind of in this vein of an Elden Ring esque type game. Um, there is
So it's an
rolling
Elden
and
like.
Elden like, yeah, and there's like parrying and all that stuff. But it's going to be class based because Vindictus has a bunch of classes. So there's two classes in the playtest, and it was Fiona, who's a shield sword character, and then Lan, the double sword character.
Wow,
And
Fiona being a shield and sword building character. How original.
is that a thing that's like a mythological thing or something like that?
I don't know. I feel like the FIO and having like a sword or shield or like spear and being like an honorable fighter warrior is very common.
Oh, is that in League too? Isn't there a
I
character?
believe it is.
I think I played that. I think it's Leona because I think I played that character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but the so um this game it looks fantastic, to be honest. Visually it looks really nice. It played very nice, so I'm actually very excited for it. The combat uses like square, it's like combos, so it's square, it's like light attack, heavy attack is triangle, and if you tap them in different ways you do different combos. um but it has other souls like things, and each character has like class moves and stuff. I think it'll be very fun when it comes out. um, Notable thing about this game, it has some of the most innovations in jiggle physics I have ever seen in a video game,
Man,
which sounds funny, but it was genuinely impressive in a weird way that I'm like,
like
oh my god, we're in the next generation. Like, what is this?
how do they innovate with physics? What are they
Look up
doing
any
that's
piece
new?
of content. Look up any piece of content from this thing, because that's all people were really talking about, to be honest. Um, Look up Vindictus Defying Fate and just look at any GIF. There is one specific outfit for Fiona. There's an outfit for Fiona that everyone basically picked in the playtest. And look up just like anything about it. I
Okay,
need
I've
you to
got a
witness
video.
any video. Just look at
Huh?
something or any thumbnail and just look at the attention to detail
Yeah,
in the
Jesus
next
Christ.
generation of jiggle physics, which is insane to say. I
Yeah,
recognize that is
that is
insane to
something.
say. You need to see it for your own eyes. It is. There must have been a team. They must have had a full team develop like
So,
exclusively doing this. And there was
Imagine you're
I
on the
ran
Jiggle
tests.
Physics team, man.
Oh, I ran tests, and every armor set had different proportions of jiggle physics in terms like accurate to the cloth conditions and different
Oh
supportive
god.
nature of the garments. And this is, to be honest, this like does not sell me a game. I'm not like 12 years old, contrary to popular belief. But I was just shocked and awed at like the strides we've made in this field, and it was so funny how much attention to detail went into that aspect of the game. Um,
Hmm.
but you know what? If it sells units and the game is fun, then by all means, it gets people to play the game. I guess. I think next time the playtest, you should try it because it actually genuinely was a really fun game. It was a fun
Hmm.
time. I don't know how they're monetizing it. I'm hoping it's a you just pay for it, like a $60 game or something. Just pay for it, and then it's a game. It's single player. I don't know how devious they'll be if they make a cash shop for a single player game to buy outfits.
Hmm.
It sounds very Nexon America. Um, but yeah, I'm excited about it because it's in the genre that I like.
Hmm.
Um, Souls like, woo, I like the Vindictus lore, I guess. I don't even know any of the lore. I like the character designs and enemy designs. Big polar bears, big fun game.
Big Polly
Uh,
Bewa.
yeah, that was a big classic. James, do you have any other things you want to talk about your week? And then I will rant about Overwatch 2 until we get to questions or end the pod.
Think I got everything.
Okay. I will rant about Overwatch 2 for a little bit then.
Damn.
And then we'll do questions. I'm gonna play Overwatch 2 after the podcast. I'm gonna play competitive and get my placement actually for
Sanest
DPS.
Overwatch player.
It's not that bad right now with the current patch that they're on. It's as long as you're not playing tank. DPS is pretty fun.
Yeah, that's every
Support
Overwatch
is
patch.
I'm assuming it's pretty fun. Um, yeah, they did a quick play hacked again, which they keep doing these quick play hacked events where they're switching up quick play.
Hmm.
So this time they made it so that you could pick duplicate of heroes within a role, and it sucked. It was so bad.
You can pick duplicates of heroes within a role, so it just
Yes.
doesn't apply to tank.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't apply
Amazing.
to tank. And it was also double Moira. Like every game was either double Moira or like double Mercy, double Echo. Just like the worst
Yeah, I
stuff. It
feel like
was
that just
so
seems like a
unfun.
terrible idea. They already tried this.
Well,
We all know the conclusion.
I'm glad they try. I'm kind of like how they mixed it up, but I will say it was so unfun to play that it got me playing comp, which may be part of the reason they're doing it. Because I think a lot of people actually started playing comp
So
just to
unfun
avoid
to play
horrible
that it
quick
got me
play.
playing comp.
Yeah,
It's
I really do
crazy.
think. Um, so I have comp anxiety in games usually. I don't want to play comp for the most part because I feel like I'm gonna mess up something.
Hmm.
Um, So I had played competitive Overwatch back in the day, and everyone would be like using mics, and I would participate and be like, "Oh, the Genji behind, blah blah blah." So I didn't want to do that. I get that it's really good and you should communicate with your team, but I don't want to talk to people when I'm playing Overwatch, and I want to just zone out and play this dumb game. Which
Hmm.
quick play was good is good for that, but whatever.
Yeah.
With the ping system currently in the game, no one uses mics, at least in my placement matches, and that's okay, I think. You can be better if you use mics, but I don't want to hear you talk. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to know you're in my game. I want you to be an NPC in the lobby. I don't want to even know you're
Damn.
alive in Overwatch 2. Um,
Damn.
so that's been going pretty well. I've been winning a lot of matches. I'm probably gonna get placed. The game hit me with the insults of so I was like my highest I've ever ranked in Overwatch was like diamond, like kind of
Hmm.
like low diamond, and I never really played comp that much. I probably have like 100 hours in comp, 160 hours maybe in comp, and then like more in quick play.
Hmm.
Um, and that was all in support too, but the game hit me. They did a rank reset. The game hit me with a well, we think you're gonna be like a silver one or something like that. I'm like, what? Is it better to be? I don't know. In Overwatch, they hit me with the lowest silver rank at first, and I'm like, that was after one match though, so that was not like that was going off of nothing. I'm assuming
Damn.
I'm gonna place as of now into like gold or plat right now,
Hmm.
um, which is fine. Honestly, that's where everyone gets, and then I'll grind it out, and it's fine. I don't care to climb that much in the game, to
Yeah.
be honest. But it was a little insulting. I'm like, I know I'm not silver. Like that's I've never been silver in the entire time I've ever played this game. So, that was a little like a little like, hey, come on, bump me up. At
Damn.
least put me in anywhere in gold. I'll take that. I don't care. Um, but yeah, so Overwatch 2, the actual like gameplay is pretty fun-ish right now. Oh, they actually did you see any of the announcements of the developer um video of what they're doing with the game? It's actually kind of a good change.
I think I read about them briefly, but I can't really remember them.
So the big two big changes are they're making all heroes free now, so you don't
Oh
have to
yeah,
pay for
yeah.
them,
Hmm.
which is a great change because this game is counter swap the game, and no more people having to run in and buy Mauga to be competitive in their competitive match.
Hmm.
Um, really good change because it was really bad to lock heroes like that.
Yeah.
Um, and also they're making it so that mythic skins are available to get now. So they're making it a currency. Actually, they're also adding premium currency to the battle pass. Um,
Hmm.
and they're making it so that you get some sort of like mythic coin, and you can use that to unlock the mythic skins that were previously on the battle pass, which is pretty great. I like that. Good
Yeah.
feature. I can sleep soundly with less FOMO about missing some crazy cool battle pass thing.
Hmm.
Um, rare Blizzard W. I think people are trying to spin it as a negative. They're like they're only doing this because they were greedy or something, and they need to not be greedy. And it's like so they're making a positive change, and it is easy to shit on Blizzard, but it's a rare W from Blizzard here
Hmm.
in over a rare Overwatch W as well.
A rare O dub.
Yes, a shockingly rare Overwatch W. Um.
Damn.
Anyway, that game exists. It was
Just
it's still a game. I don't think I
it
need to
didn't
talk anymore
spontaneously
about
combust.
Overwatch. Maybe one day. Like well, the problem. I guess one more thing is like I try to tell my friends. I'm like, hey, you guys should play Overwatch with me, and everyone is like, no, which is fair. They all
Damn.
played Overwatch like in the beta, and they're like that. They're kind of like the Gen Oneers of Pokemon, where they're like, "Oh yeah, the beta that was the peak of the game," and it's like probably not, to be
Man.
honest. That's very
The
rose
beta
colored
peakers.
glasses. Yeah, it's like when you could play like 5 Winstons. I mean, there was a lot of fun, or 6 Winstons, I guess. There was fun with those kind of matches, like the goofing around, but like to actually have a match that you're playing, it was kind of stupid,
I think also when
but
people play like the early version of a game, I don't think they consider that they would have eventually gotten sick of it if it was just like that.
stagnant. Yeah. Um, I think there was good changes and bad changes along the way, but yeah, it is weird to do that. And I keep someone asked me like, "Oh, what do you think of Overwatch now?" Like, I'm like, "Well, it's actually pretty fun. Like, you should play it. It's kind of fun. We can play a thing." And then
Hmm.
I think a lot of the issue that my friends have had is there's abilities in the game, and I think they just don't like. They're just like, well, if I, like a cool, I'll use my cooldown and then you win. It's like, well, it's an ability
Well,
shooter.
yeah.
Like that's what the
Oh
point.
no, abilities in the ability game.
They're more into like I guess the Counter Strike type of like you walk. It's not about abilities. It's about like mechanical skill of like who has the most Adderall at the current moment, where you're like bang around a corner and insta headshot someone, which is and it's like tactical, I guess. But they play those games like Call of Duty, so I don't know what is wrong with them. So They play the tactical shooters like they're Call of Duty, and then turn their nose up toward Call of Duty.
Man.
So I don't know. I'm hoping one day that our friend group will have a game. Like I think the closest we've come to that was maybe like a Fall Guys and Among Us. That Among Us
Yeah.
was the closest thing to game harmony where any friend group you could enjoy a game together, you know.
Yeah.
Um I can never get anyone to play any of these like the multiplayer games I end up playing, no one likes them. Like ever. It's weird.
Hmm.
Um yeah, I don't know. James, I'm going to ask you questions now. This is the James segment of the podcast.
Oh
This is the
boy.
questions, but I'm gonna just grill you with questions. We're gonna, you know what, James? I've been talking so much. I'm gonna rapid fire like 10 questions at you, and I'm not even gonna
Arnar.
answer them. I'm just gonna give you questions, and I need you to not think. I need you to just answer with your heart. Okay?
Oh boy.
I need you to answer like first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
And if you have questions and you're not AI, you can email us at hyeppodcast@gmail.com. That's hyeppodcast@gmail.com. James, are you ready?
I hope.
What is the best way to defeat a boss with a dance off? A heated. Wait, what? Did we answer this one? No, we did answer that one. That was the
I think we did.
stupid. Yeah, that was the last one we answered. Uh. Oh, here we go, James. Perfect. If you could have any video game character as your real life best friend, who would it be and why? Go.
Ooh. I mean,
No
first thing that comes to
thoughts.
mind with any video game thing is always Master Chief.
Okay, John Halo is your best friend. Why?
Yes.
What? Why?
Because nobody would mess with me. I'm just walking around with my John Halo.
What would you and John Halo do? What do you like? Are you
I
gonna
don't
hang
know.
out?
We would vibe.
Are you in Halo, or are you in the Halo verse, or are you in Earth in real life?
I don't know.
Is
I
he
thought
in?
I thought
Is
the
he
implication
isekai?
was that it was just on Earth, like real
Are
life.
you isekai'd into Halo, or is he isekai'd into Earth
I
from
think
real
he's
life?
Isekai into Earth.
Okay, and then you just can hang out with him and
Yeah.
stuff. Does he have Cortana with him still?
I don't know.
You know Halo more than I do. I'm just saying things that
Oh,
exist
in
in
the Halo
Halo.
games, no.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything. Does he not like? I does he not
No.
have Microsoft Windows 10 and above
Nah.
for Cortana? Okay, whatever. Moving on. That was too long. We gotta get through these.
Damn.
Imagine a world where video games are used as currency. Which game will be the equivalent of the dollar bill and why?
Shit. Game that's the equivalent of a dollar bill. And it'd have to be a real fucking stinker. Like, man, I can't. Like,
Dude,
what's
it's got
this?
to be Madden, right?
Yeah. It would have
Or
to be like
or
one of those
like
games, like
one of
Madden or
those.
2K.
There's just enough to fill a landfill.
Yeah. I
I
can
feel
see
like
that.
that makes sense. All right, banging it out. If you had to live in a world of the video game you last played, how long would you survive? Oh no.
Not very long. It would be
In
Borderlands.
Borderlands,
Yeah, I would be dead pretty fast.
you would just be what would your skill trees look like? What would your three do you know how like there's like three diverging
Yeah.
skill trees of just like play styles? What are your three play styles looking like?
I don't know, man. I punch stuff. I kick stuff. I I don't know. I walk
Well,
around.
it doesn't have it doesn't have to be like combat. It could be like your lifestyle skills, you know?
Well, yeah, I walk around.
You
I
walking is a
exist.
tree. What is the ultimate ability of the walking tree? Running?
Yeah.
You just unlock running.
Yep.
Um Amazing. Okay, let's not doubt on that for too long. Let's just move on.
Man.
Uh oh god. What video game skill or power do you wish you had in real life?
Ooh. I don't know. Like being able to like phase, like in Titanfall or Apex. That sounds pretty cool. I
Is
don't think
that
it'd be very
like
practical, but it just kind of be cool. Like whenever you don't want to be somewhere, or you're around some people you don't like, you just phase into another dimension.
that's kind of I get like but can you do stuff? Is does time move in the dimension and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Is that one of those things you can just kind of like hang out and have
Yeah.
infinite time to
Just vibe.
practice? Um, one
And if
second,
we're
I'm
talking like
scheduling an upload.
practicality, I don't know, like either some form of teleportation or like maybe like siren abilities from Borderlands would be cool. I can lift stuff and shit.
I want Cooking Mama's ability to cook and be a mama. Moving on. If you could
Cook
combine
and be a
two
mama.
if you could combine two game worlds into one, which would you choose and what would the new world look like?
Shit. I mean, like we're going with the
You-
first thing comes to mind. So like probably be like Apex and like Gears of War.
that's
It'd
actually
be
kind of
like,
sick.
yeah, I don't know. That'd probably
Chainsaw
just be like,
parkour.
I'd probably just be like Mad Max's parkour.
Yeah, it would kind of
Actually,
just
that'd be like the
be
end result.
yeah, that would actually be kind of sick. Um, all right, wait, just we got to move on. We got to move on. There's no time.
Keep moving.
What's the most bizarre game mechanic you've ever encountered, and did it enhance the game or detract from it?
Oh shit. Oh god, I can't really think of many bizarre ones.
I have one that you probably don't think of as bizarre now, but as an outsider, I think it's just shockingly strange. Um, Denying creeps in Dota as a concept, it's just weird. It's just a weird thing to do in a game.
Hmm.
Like you press the A
Yeah, I
button.
mean, I guess it's like it's kind of like how in some like universes they like burn corpses. I don't know because they don't want like the aliens to eat them or something like that.
What?
Similar concept.
What?
You never.
About game mechanics?
No, I was saying like the way that like denying works in Dota, like why it makes sense.
Oh no, I get in the universe. Well, I'm not talking about in the universe. I'm saying as a video game, I would never think that there would be a button. You press like the A button on your keyboard, and then you can
Oh,
click
I
your own
see.
unit and kill them, so the other team doesn't get coins or something. It's a kind of a weird mechanic, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So it is a strange mechanic to me, at least. James, we got 3 minutes left. We can get more questions in.
God, yeah. I mean,
Um,
I don't know. I can't really think of any like exceptionally strange mechanics off the top of my head. I mean, like I know like GTFO, they have like your like heart rate, and if your heart rate gets too high, you just start like fucking tweaking. And you like can't hold your gun or run, and you're just kind of a fish, just flopping around.
how about I completely missed your answer because I was like panicked looking for questions. Um, but how about this one? If there was an Olympic event for video game characters, what bizarre sport do you think they would invent, and who would take home the gold? Now, think carefully about
Think
Olympics and video game
carefully.
characters. There's a correct answer.
I mean, so what would are we saying like who would win or what would they like create?
I would say just like who was at the Olympic Games. That's all I'm
I mean,
saying.
yeah,
First of
Mario and
all,
Sonic obviously
Mario,
they would
obviously,
just
Mario and
win.
Sonic
But like
they were at the Olympic Games.
I don't understand like what the question is.
It's not really a good question. I just wanted you to say
Like
Mario
what?
and
Like
Sonic at
you're
the Olympic
asking me to
Games.
invent? They're asking me to invent a new sport.
Do that though, yeah. Come up with a sport that is either I guess Mario and Sonic related. I guess Mario characters and Sonic characters both have to be able to do it because it would be unfair otherwise. That's the
Yeah.
new question.
Shit. Probably like how fast you could touch the ceiling. Because
That
like a
seems
Sonic,
Oh, wait a
a
minute.
Sonic. So think about it for a second, right? A
Wait a
Mario
minute.
character would like grow tall enough to touch the ceiling, but a Sonic character would run on the ceiling.
I was thinking jumping too. They could jump to the
That
ceiling.
too. Sure.
That way, that's kind of genius. That could compare Mario's jump force with Sonic's speed. They're both like crucial aspects of the characters.
Yes.
They're key aspects.
Yeah.
Who's faster? Well, I guess Mario isn't really known. Well, I guess Mario can jump fast enough that he shatters bricks with his fist. Um, but if
But
Mario
is
was
that
going
because
for speed,
he's like physically strong, or is it because he's jumping like with a lot of force? Because like
well, maybe the
is he like
bricks
jumping
are.
and punching, or is it just like he's just
He
putting
is
his
punching.
fist up and just jumping?
Oh, I think he is just putting his fist up and jumping. Now that you say that, maybe the bricks are just really poorly constructed as well. We haven't considered that.
Yeah, I don't know. They might not be
Um,
very structurally sound.
Well, in Mario 3 lore, the bricks were the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom turned into bricks, and you just break them all the game and kill them.
Yeah, let's not talk about Mario lore.
Yeah,
That
Mario
sounds
lore is
really
dark.
fucking weird and definitely not meant for like the target audience. What the
um,
fuck?
yeah, it's like in the manual, in-game manual lore is insane.
Yeah, that
Because
shit
it was
is
just half
crazy.
translated, just making stuff up, just wrong information half the time.
Yeah.
Um, all right, I'm gonna ask you the last question.
Oh boy.
Um, if you had to choose a video game villain to be president of the world, who would it be? And what would their first law be? You don't have to do the law, but who would it be? Who's the video
Video
game?
game villain to be president of the world.
There's a banger answer that I'm gonna throw out in a second.
Um, I don't know. I think like the Arbiter from Halo would be funny. I don't
Mhm.
think you know what to do.
I don't even know who that is. That's John Halo's. Is that John Halo's
You
antagonist for
don't know the
Halo?
Arbiter? It's the
I don't
elite
play.
that.
I have not played any of those
Oh
games.
my
I've
god.
played some of them. I've played the multiplayer, but I've never
Have you
played a
seen like
single
the
player
Halo
game.
3 clip where like it's like John Halo wakes up and he like puts a gun to like an alien's head, like a pistol?
I've seen. I'm gonna finish the fight. That's it. That's all I know
Oh,
about
okay.
Halo.
Well,
Is
yeah,
all I know.
you're cooked.
That's all I know about Halo lore.
Damn.
Um, obviously President Armstrong from Metal Gear Rising, because he's
Based.
nanomachines. He's the most based answer because he played college ball, you know.
Yep.
And with that, I think we ended the podcast.
Damn.
Who are you?
I'm James, aka James04E,
And
aka a metaphysical concept.
and who am I? I'm Matt, aka Matt Fondude. You can find me on Twitch and the YouTube at Matt Fondude, and that's pretty much my Discord server too, I guess. And the podcast. All right, goodbye.
Bye.